Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I had a nice little neat tutorial for you. I actually made this tutorial on how to make this. Look at this node tree, this geometry node or whatever. And actually the Blender file crashed on me at the very end. So now I decided, after maybe an hour of recording, and now I just want to show you how I did it. Hopefully it will be much shorter. Anyway, so I created this window. I just want to show you what this window can do. So in this modifier panel, you have all these parameters you can change. The units are in meters, so everything works as it should. So we have the window width, we have the window height, we have the frame thickness. Look at this cool little thing, yeah, frame thickness. And we have number of vertical bars as well as number of horizontal bars. So all these values here, you can find them in the side panel. If you go and on the geometry node workspace, you just get it here, or you can just select it, geometry node editor. So split your screen the way you want it and just find the geometry node editor. How I did this, I'm going to show you in a second. I am modeling this in Blender version 3.0. So because I'm using some nodes that are not still available on their Blender 2.93, I think that's the last one that's at least at the date of this recording. And for example, we have this material assign. You just add it to geometry. There's a material socket that you can connect to the parameter here, and that's how you can change a material, just like this. Hoo-ha, very nice. And there's also another cool node that I'm going to show you. It's the where is it mesh primitives, mesh line. I don't think we have it in 2.93. Anyway, so I'm just going to show you what it does. It's just a line. It's just a line with how many vertices you want. So what I did actually was, and with the start location and end location, if you set it to endpoints, so you have the coordinates of the first point and the coordinates of the last point, and with all the points in between. So if you add like a point instance and select, I don't know, do I have an empty? Yeah, I have an empty. I select an empty and just lower the count or it up, maybe move this along the z-axis. So it's really useful, really useful. And most of you used grid mesh primitives node, but the grid is problematic because it goes in pairs. So if you want to array in only one direction, I don't know if you can do it. Yeah, you could probably clamp something and then not have that second row, but this is much neater. So what I did with this, let's just ignore it now. I used two objects. So I used my one by one cube to set the glass object, and I used this is here. I used the simple transform node to set its to set its size. So rotation nothing, because rotation is fine, but to set its scale, I set the scale to glass thickness. I set the Y scale to glass thickness, and the X and Z scale to glass height and width, but with a little bit of my math node help, because I had to subtract the half a frame. So half a frame is right here, half frame value, so goes into frame thickness here and gets divided by 2, and I get the half frame value. So my glass actually starts somewhere here. If I go into side view, my glass object size starts here somewhere on the point of half thickness value. So if the frame thickness gets bigger, my glass object is gonna go here. And I just I did this with the translation, so I moved it half value here on the z-axis and on the x-axis, as you can see, and I set its scale to be the size of the width subtracted by the size of the frame thickness. I don't know if you're getting any of this, but that's how I did the glass. So how I did the frames, that's when things get very interesting. So the frames are here. Okay, vertical frames are on this mesh line object that has its start and its end and its count. So the count is connected to the number of vertical. This one is the count. Count of vertices. So this is a line that goes here, and its start location again needs to be half a frame moved on the x-axis, because if I increase the frame thickness, the frame needs to start in the middle. So it's always this line on which these vertical bars are arrayed needs to start always half a frame away from the start, from the 0,0 point, and it needs to end on the window width subtracted by the half a frame value. As you can see, this is start and location. You can see the end location, the x value subtracted by the half frame value, and from the window width value. Well, hello there, it's me again from the future. I actually forgot to tell you about the most important thing. I started talking about it at the beginning, but actually when we got to this part I just completely forgot. So let's try to make it clear right now. So here we have that line, you know, that we were talking about, and this line, after this line I used this point instance node that's very important, that actually allowed me to select an object that I'm going to array on my line. So here we have these arrays of these objects, and these objects are window frame objects, which is in fact this object right here. So if I turn it off, I can reselect it and everything is fine. And then another important thing is this point scale that goes before the point instance node, which allows me to control the scale of individual copies. And of course, this scale is a vector, so it's scaled on 3 axes, but so I divided it with the combined XYZ node and connected it to the parameters here. So X and Y are practically the frame thickness values, and Z is the window height. If we switch off this node, you can see that we have our frames but with a different scale, so you can see that we can manipulate each and every single one of them. But that's what we do with the parameters I showed you. And that is practically it. The same thing goes with the horizontal value, but here we have also the point rotate that goes between the point scale and point instance that allows me to rotate these values, these frames, as you can see, by 90. Without the rotation, they're all like this. Okay, so that is it. Back to you, Past MJ. And the same thing goes for our horizontal frames, but horizontal frames also need to start from the midpoint because we don't want them to go over this little bevel, so they even start here in the middle. So this horizontal frame start, also the X value is half a frame moved to the right on the X axis. I also scaled a bit these horizontal values, horizontal frames, with the point scale on the factor here. I just scaled it on the y-axis 1.55 and moved it a bit inwards to create this kind of look. And maybe I just want to show you how I also added some limits to these parameters, because for example this number of vertical, the type is integer because integer is not a float number, therefore it has no decimal points. So integer, number of vertical, number of horizontal are both integers. As you can see, if you increase them, they only go by full number, while if you increase these are all floats, so they have decimal. And also the material here, type material. You can also set the default and minimum and maximum. I don't know, maybe set the minimum to a positive number. That's the only kind of advice I can give you. And this is practically it. Another and the last cool thing about it is this is the only object you're gonna have to use other than the original one. This is the cube from which these frames were made. So if you actually change this cube object, as I did here with the modifier, so it's not destructive also, as you can see, I used the bevel weights here, so these two edges have bevel weight of 1, and I set the bevel limit method to weight, so it's only beveling the edges or vertices that have the bevel weight over 0. But you can also switch this off and you can have these square looking frames, or you can do whatever the hell you want with it. You can add loop cut. I don't know. You can move these back and create a whole different look. See? And that's also kind of cool. I like this about it. And that's practically all I have to say about this window. If you want, I will probably leave a link in the description where you can download this window, and you can maybe buy me a beer or something, or just a thank you would be appreciated. If you think you could use it for something, I don't know what, but maybe put it in some of your models, who knows. But this is practically it. I hope you liked this cool video, and I will probably see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Come on, guys. Anyway, that's it. Bye bye.